Welcome back, everybody, to the Electronic Age. I'm your host, Adrian Saya, and on today's episode, we have a very good friend of mine. We got Jake Mercer in the building.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Jake?
I'm glad we're finally doing this, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's about time.
Yes, sir.
So, for those in the audience who do not know Jake is a DJ, event producer, and is now coordinating one of the largest events for Miami Music Week 2024. Which is incredibly exciting, man.
It's crazy. And it came so quickly, dude. Came so quickly.
Feels like you keep prepping for something for so long, but it becomes unreal when it's actually here, right?
No, 100%. Especially when you've it's 8 months down the pipeline. Like you put so much into it, and it creeps up, dude.
I can only imagine.
Time flies when you're busy.
Now, before we dig deeper into those details, because I want to save those for a little bit later, let's start from the beginning. When you got into electronic music, right, when you decided to become a DJ, at what point did you realize that electronic music was for you, specifically house, this disco, indie dance? How did you know it was for you?
Yeah, so, just like anybody, we start off with super broad music tastes, diving into a little bit of everything. When I first started DJing, it was a lot of just like generic EDM, I started DJing when I was 17, got the board right as I was senior year of high school, got the board, would mess around on it, just like a true bedroom DJ. Would never play anywhere, didn't really push myself for at least 5 years, I would say.
Wow.
Until I was 21, 22. When I was 21, I was picking up a couple gigs in kava lounges and, just I played in malls, actual stores, and
so you played in malls?
Yeah,
Mall of America type of stuff?
Yeah, just at a one of my homies had a store, and I'm yo, I can spin, just whatever it was, I was eager to just get out there, play, but yeah, and then I would say after doing that for so long, my taste just started to develop. I started just obviously going out more, searching for the DJs, started finding myself in really niche holes, especially when it comes to music. There's a lot of rabbit holes to go down.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So at what point would you say you really got into your pocket when it came to DJing?
I would say it's ever getting deeper into the pocket, honestly, because even now I surprise myself with what I end up liking, and what I end up wanting to play. It's super clear to everybody. D&B is having a huge kick right now. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of good UK garage music coming out. Chasing Status are on the rise again after 20 years of being in the industry. I think it's cool to evolve with the scene, and special stuff comes out of it when the whole community gets behind certain sounds, and it's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So from this evolution of you were 21, you were playing in malls.
Yeah.
Would you say at what point did you actually start playing at places here in Miami as a DJ?
So I would say it really came after I moved to Miami probably 3 years ago now.
Okay, where from?
From Naples, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, shout out Naples. Moved here to Miami. Actually moved straight in with my now business partner, Yair, who, huge shout out. Couldn't do any of this without him. Literally, he's a trooper. He knows. Nice. He's a vet. He knows what he's doing in this space.
Definitely.
So kind of got linked up with him. We went from there. He realized I DJ'd. We were just homies at first, got introduced because my family actually owns a gin company.
A gin company?
A gin.
Gin.
Yeah,
sweet. I did not know
yeah.
that. Do you know what's the name of the gin?
Rivy Gin.
Rivy Gin. Shout out Rivy Gin.
Yes, go get some. Total Wine ABC. But yeah, so I got introduced to him as a potential sponsor at his parties because during COVID, he was doing a lot of warehouse parties, a lot of underground stuff, and one of my friends was this would be a great sponsorship opportunity for you, get the gin. It's a new company, So it was like a chance to get it on a shelf where they could move a lot of volume potentially. Got introduced to him, kind of just, like it kind of snowballed from there. He found out how much I love music, how much I cared about this stuff. He was looking for a rebranding, so we were like, okay, let's start Third Eye Hospitality. Start on a clean slate, I can walk you through the whole process of like how we, ended up getting Toe Jam and doing all this stuff. It's just, there's a pattern. Like you want to find your venue. Like that's one of the
Number
biggest
one.
things. Yeah. Artists will always come if the venue's good enough.
Okay. I think it's a good piece of advice for anyone trying to throw an event out there.
For sure. And always your venue deal matters, because then that depends on how much you're spending on your artist, and if you can do a partnership with the venue, if they believe in your vision, stuff like that. But yeah, you're kind of just like already knew this
landscape.
Yeah. He knew how to traverse it, taught me a lot. And now I think we're figured it out as a team on like what our strengths and weaknesses are,
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That is a phenomenal progression. It didn't take. I'm sure it did take you some roller coaster rides in order to get to here.
For sure. Some crazy roller coasters. I mean, when you're talking about, so for Music Week this year, I think we have 140 DJs booked.
Holy shoot.
Yeah.
That is a lot.
Yeah. Between Paraiso, Stereo, Toe Jam, and the Sagamore.
Damn.
Granted, the Sagamore, we're a little more hands-off, but we're still partners over there. So, we have a responsibility to make sure the ship's running over there. And then, Toe Jam and Paraiso, all the artists advancing. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
A lot of emails.
So let's back up a little bit and go to where you mentioned Third Eye Hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
So you became a DJ. You started progressing as a DJ, playing in shows down here.
Yep.
And you met Yair.
Yeah.
Now, when you decided to make Third Eye Hospitality, how did that come to fruition?
I don't want to sound corny with it, but I do think it's manifestation is a real thing. Love something enough, attract it enough, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen
eventually.
Yeah, and I think ever since I've started going into this type of music and really like searching for the niche stuff. It's like I would drive from Naples with my friends just to go out here in Miami. They would go to Space. I would end up leaving Space. I would just go to ATV by myself, end up sitting at ATV all night. And like that's when you see like crazy raw talent that nobody speaks about. Guy Pickle Will, definitely like a Miami legend.
Definitely.
Really just an awesome experience, not knowing at all what I was stepping into and seeing this guy just, collection of vinyl, like amazing tracks, and doing it so seamlessly. It's like some wizard stuff. It was cool. And that would keep me there all night. And I think like the appreciation for that kind of just wanted me to get involved and like push me there to be like, okay, they're throwing this event at the Aero Squadron, like, okay, how did they do this? How do they get these talent from overseas, like Ricardo Villalobos,
Right.
Like bringing talent like that to America for the first time, like it's incredible.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I just think the best way to show appreciation for this, this scene and the music is throw some sick events, like have some great experiences for people. I want to give that what I felt to other people,
It's a great vision to start off of, and the fact that you were going off of a feeling, one that you wanted to recreate for others, I think really shows even in your events that you're throwing now.
Yeah.
It's big.
And it's so important, and that's like that is the real payment and reward throughout all of it, is seeing how like the enjoyment people get out of it,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to get a little bit tactical, Pete, here. For anyone trying to get into the event production space, so Third Eye Hospitality is an event production company, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So anyone who wants to get into that kind of space, how do they book a DJ from a place that's like Spain or Madrid, wherever it may be, that is an international DJ, and bring them to Miami?
So I'll give a huge little secret right now. There's a website. It's called Roster.
Roster.
ROSTR.
Roster.
And it's actually like a whole database. Every single artist that you could probably think of is on there. And it has their management listed and their agent listed.
That is huge.
And and you pay for the premium. It's like $50 a month. And as long as you know, it's all about how you present yourself, obviously, like how that first email is. I was fortunate enough that I had a business partner like you that had pre-existing relationships that, you know, I can build off of and use as leverage to reach out to other agents within the same agencies. And, you know, once you've worked with them and they trust you and you've taken care of their artists, made sure all payments are done on time, made sure it was a good experience for their client, they'll want to keep just sending talent your way.
Love that.
But yeah, Roster it's a great tool to just, you know, it's just a Rolodex of people that you need to contact for whatever artist. Obviously, it's cold calling. If you're starting...
There's sales in this.
Yeah.
There's big-time sales.
Yeah, if you're starting fresh and you've never done an event, obviously it's going to take a little more, you know, convincing. You're going to have a whole, like, you know, maybe do a pitch deck of the venue. Like, that's a great selling point. And yeah, at the end of the day, they want their artists to be playing, especially in a city like Miami, you know? Yeah. So if you can figure it out and you give them a good showcase, they're always going to want to come play here. We live in a great place for that, you know?
Definitely. One of the best cities for music, period.
And the U.S., 100%.
Now, when it comes to the name, Third Eye Hospitality, how did you end up coming up with that name?
Yeah, so I don't know. It was just like me in a year. We just there's a backstory to it. I'm not gonna get into it, but it's funny.
I would love to hear it.
No.
A short version, even.
Yeah, no. It's basically like it's a little satirical because like we're not. If you know us, like I'm not that spiritual. Like it was just like, oh yeah, we should call it Third Eye Hospitality. Like it sounds great, you know. Third Eye Hospitality, we've always designed it to be an umbrella for a bunch of stuff that we want to do.
Okay.
And that's one thing I kind of had to set aside with Third Eye. I believe in all of our shows. I love every single show we produce. Is it always my music taste? No. It's not always my personal preference as a DJ. Not necessarily always the sound that I cater to. Mm-hmm. But I understand that this is a whole ecosystem. One thing I am very proud of us doing is, you know, this music week at Toe Jam, we have each day is pretty much a different genre of electronic music.
Definitely.
Which is cool because, you know, I feel like if we can give everybody their night to come and enjoy it. I mean, listen, like, I can't expect everybody to have the same taste as me. So I don't know. It's my DJ preferences and my event production. It's like I have to keep a fine line between it, you know?
Of course.
Because start being too opinionated about stuff, like you don't know what everybody likes, you know?
It's true.
Yeah, like you have to just read it, kind of hear the people out, know what they want, and give it to them. Give the people what they want. Like that's it.
So let's touch a little bit on that point that you made, that you understood that it's not maybe what the music you would listen to, but you would still book it.
Yeah.
Right. For the culture, just to move things along in the industry. Do you think that kind of sets back the music industry currently, especially in the house and techno scene, where some promoters or talent buyers can be a little, I don't want to say snobby, but really like selective about the music they book?
I think it depends on the mission statement of, you know, whatever organization it is, what they're going about. Because there are event producers that are very niche and very in a very deep pocket of music, you know, and it's very select. And honestly, they are as much of a necessity as it is, you know, somebody throwing a bunch of different shows, because it's all part of the ecosystem. Like we all need each other, and that's one thing that I do appreciate about Miami. I think you know, there's a lot of people with their own event companies and doing their own small things, and it's cool because we can build a community and kind of help each other out.
Nice.
Yeah.
And when it comes to booking a venue, you mentioned earlier that a big part of this is building a relationship with the venue. How do you even begin to do that?
Yeah, I would say just have it all on the table, be very clear, be very concise. You know, like you said, it is sales. Like it's selling somebody on your dream, what you think is going to work. Obviously, like myself, like I can walk into a restaurant and I can name stuff that I would do differently that I think would do better, you know, and it's just selling people on that and just having a clear vision on what you're trying to achieve. Because obviously venues in Miami, they want outside promoters and outside producers to come in and help, because that could literally, a perfect example is Negronis here. What they're doing on a Tuesday, it's crazy. They just like locked it in. And it's a sushi place, like, and they made it so every Tuesday night it is slammed.
It is slammed.
And that I can't even imagine what that does for the business, you know. And so I think venues are they're people. They're always down to like try new ideas. You just gotta sell them on it and execute.
Love that, and it's very true. Once you actually put your best foot forward and believe in your vision yourself, it'll be a lot easier to sell to the other person.
100%.
For those that don't know, Negroni is a restaurant here in Midtown that also is like a restaurant club. Those are very popular here in Miami. A lot of restaurants turn into clubs at night, and this place on Tuesday gets packed out, line out the door, you can't get in type of thing.
I feel like that's getting older too, is you're getting older when you just want to go to dinner parties. Like, that is what Miami's...
Sushi.
Yeah.
and then party a little.
Yeah, like all the restaurants here. I mean, people love that experience, you know. Get up on the table, start dancing. Like, Miami's built off that. That's why I always say we're not America. We're definitely like, Miami is its own little country.
It really is.
Yeah. We have a very unique culture down here, and it's awesome.
So when it comes to building a relationship with the venue owner itself, do you literally just walk in and say, hey, I'd like to speak to the manager of this establishment? Or how do you go about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, for example, like I actually recently just did this to a venue. I just, went in one night when they were having a party. I just knew one of the waitresses. She was like, I got to introduce you to the GM here. Made the introduction. I explained a little bit about what we do. He's like, come in on Tuesday. Like, let's talk. Because if you have the contacts and, you have a plan that's ready to go, if people will jump on it usually, especially when you start talking artist names and you show them and it's like, oh, we can do this showcase. I mean, people are down to listen, that's one thing I can't stress enough. Like, never be afraid to actually just pitch yourself.
Yeah. And it sounds a lot, because I'm sure a lot of my listeners are probably in tech sales, whatever it may be. Usually right out of college, people go right into sales.
Yeah.
It really can be that easy or similar to what you do at work.
Yeah.
You make a cold call, you go in. You don't necessarily go right to the manager. Sometimes you got to make friends with someone adjacent. Yeah. So that way you can get to the 100%. Manager.
And it's crazy, like all the stuff you learn with throwing an event, because it's like, I never in my life thought that my love of music would take me down, doing profit and loss sheets on Excel. It actually makes it a lot more enjoyable when you care about what's on the spreadsheet, for sure. But it's like I never imagined it teaching me all these like little things that, you know, people go to school for, and I feel like I'm doing like a crash course, you know, just like, especially like the scale of events we're doing. It's like bringing on sponsors, dealing with sponsors, writing contracts, making sure you're like fulfilling deliverables. Like there's a lot that goes into it, and yeah, it's especially when there's such a small team, you have to wear a lot of hats.
Definitely. It's basically like a startup.
It is, yeah, 100%. And this is actually our 3rd year of Third Eye, too.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, so yeah, we're looking forward to this music week. It's gonna be awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that it's basically like running a business.
Yeah.
Right? What can people do to actually set themselves up for success? Like, what are some mistakes that you wish you knew, or some things that you knew when you first started?
Yeah.
That if you could tell someone just beginning, take care of your spreadsheets, like what are some tips that you would give them?
Partnerships. Partnerships are huge.
Partnerships?
Yeah. So
in what sense?
Whether it's a promotional partnership, working with another conglomerate, it's very important to be open to not just doing, you know, like your own show and bringing other people in that, you know, can help out in areas that you can't cover. I think partnerships are super important. Having the correct contracts in place to protect yourself and whoever you're partnering with, huge.
Definitely. That business is cutthroat.
Yeah.
Especially this.
Exactly, because it is as fun as it is. It's also a chaotic space, especially when it comes down to, you know, like especially nightlife. You know, anything in nightlife. Like you're gonna be dealing with some shady characters sometimes, and you just got to make sure that you protect yourself, and it's strategic, and you know it's all about building and being beneficial for one another. Yeah, I would just say contracts very important, and strategic partnerships very important.
All right.
Yeah.
So how could someone go about building those strategic partnerships? Would you just look for someone doing something similar in the space and look to partner with them?
Yeah. I mean, it's like me in a year. Like, this is what I mean about not being afraid to pitch yourself. Like, I know if somebody came up to us with the right idea, said, yo, this is what I want to do, we'll back it up. Like, if it makes sense in our heads, we will, run with it. Let's go. And like, that's the cool thing about this space is we do have the freedom. We're not in a corporate environment with a bunch of suits saying yes and no to stuff. You know, it's very creative people, very passionate people run this space. And I feel like they're always down to listen. They're always down to hear you out.
Definitely. And this is good. I feel like a lot of people are scared that they might get rejected or just be told, like, you're too small for me to pay attention. Yeah. And that may be the case sometimes. Yeah. But I think more people are willing to listen.
And you know what's awesome is, you know, if you ever hear a no, then you go back, you figure out another plan, and then watch. You'll be coming back to them way bigger, and they're going to be asking you for your help, for real. And that's like... It feels good to grow something like that, you know. It's a cool feeling.
It's fulfilling.
Yeah, super fulfilling.
Love that.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that you did recently was you made a post about everyone who has backed you in Third Eye Hospitality, that has been there for you. Have you found that faith in your vision is a hard thing to achieve with those around you?
I don't think it's a hard thing. When I made that post, I was more touching on, I think no matter what part you've played in my life, big or small, you know, even if it's just been an interaction at a party, or, you know, like you saying that you support Third Eye, or just like reaching out on my DMs and like saying, yo, this party's sick. Like, that means so much. And no matter what, I just think it is, it's important to get those little boosts from people that, you know, you're really close with and people that you aren't. You know, it keeps you going, and you really can't do it without your supporters. It's
definitely
you can't.
So with Toe Jam's backlot, How were you able to build that relationship? I know you mentioned in the past, Yair was a big part of that. How did you continue building upon it and actually end up throwing a show there?
Yeah, it really was just, Yair's prior relationship came in, did the show our first music week, which was the 2 years ago, and the show went really well. We were on top of it, ran super smoothly. Like, if something works,
it works.
It works. They're gonna want you back. Like, the guy that owns Toe Jam Backlot, he's the guy. Awesome. He loves it. He loves to see his space activated like that, and that makes me happy to say that we're working with somebody that really cares about it. He's there for all the shows. It's not like he's there with his crew.
Cares.
Yeah. No, he's an awesome dude, and that's why I do love this industry too. Is people do say it's shady and stuff, but I've met some of the best people and the best characters. I do want the goal of all of this. I say this to Yair all the time. Is I just want to be able to document all my experiences when I'm older in a book, because it would be funny. Like, some of the characters you come across, like it literally feels like it's out of a movie sometimes.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to these people that you meet, who has been your favorite person that you've met, whether it be a DJ, a venue owner?
That's a good question.
Who has been your favorite that you've met and you're like, wow, not expect this?
Oh, that is a really, really good question. I would definitely say some agents.
Really?
Yeah. Some agents, like, you expect them, you're on these email chains, you expect them to be like this, corporate shut off.
That's what I would see.
And when they show up at the party, most of them are the life of the party, and it's like, that's like, I love that. Besides being in such a high up environment, they're still with the people. They're still down for the experiences. I would say agents always surprise me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is not what I expected.
Yeah.
That's your answer.
It's so not. Like, you expect DJs to be characters, but it's I do love this industry for the characters.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the production. When it comes to the production, you would have to rent it out. You're not actually owning any of the things you're bringing in, correct?
Yeah.
Where do you find the financing to be able to afford, such a big show?
So this is where I say partnerships are important. Especially when you're starting off. Obviously, you're not going to just unless you've had a crazy side gig, like, you're not going to be able to fund this yourself. So partnerships are important. Obviously, you have to value yourself, and this is when it comes back down to pitching yourself, because at the end of the day, like, if you're setting up the party, you're booking the talent, you're doing all the legwork, there's people out there with money that if you can just show them a profit and loss sheet, show them what it's projected, even if it breaks even, they're not going to be the most mad in the world, because it's cool what we're doing, and especially people with money, as long as they're not losing money, they will back it up, like, what people spend $10,000 on a table sometimes, like, what's $10,000 towards a party that you own a part of?
Mm-hmm.
And, so I don't know, it's very much know your value, know what you're bringing to the table. And, people pay for that stuff.
So I got two questions here that have to do with shows. And that's, what was your most memorable show that you've put on that you're like, wow, this is all happening? I can't believe it.
Most memorable moment, it's so clear. Like, I've always said that this moment, I was like, wow, this is incredible, was the first year Music Week when we did Toe Jam Backlot. We did the Mala show. Up until the show started, Yair had been in conversations with a helicopter service. And the whole plan was, we're going to have this helicopter fly over the party, shine a spotlight down, make it seem like the party's getting busted. There's talks about throwing like these like Mala $1 bills out of the helicopter. Yeah, and up until the show actually happened, it was up in the air. Me and Yair were dealing with so many things, like totally slipped my mind. I was like, oh, the helicopter's probably not happening. And then during the show, we're running around like doing a bunch of stuff like crazy, like it was a stressful show.
I
for
can
sure.
imagine. Yeah, a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, and especially it being our first one like under this company. And I remember I heard the music cut off, and I was actually studying the crowd at the time. I heard the music cut off, and I heard the helicopter, and everybody was like, "Oh, like the party's over,
cops.
the party's over." I'm like, "Hell no, it's not. Like it's just getting started." I literally just hear the helicopter. I see it, and that's when I was like, "Damn!" Like I literally said, "He did it." I was like, "He actually got the helicopter." Like, it's insane. Like,
was the DJ able to whip the music right back in? Like,
yeah. Well, Mala got escorted to the front by like fake cops. They got him on stage. Yeah, the helicopter is a nice touch. You know, people talk about that stuff. That type of stuff I love. Like
that's creating a memory right there.
Yeah. I'm thinking of just like something funny to do. You know, like I think that's honestly what events are about. Just doing something that somebody's never done.
It's a damn good memory.
Yeah.
Now, what have you said has been your most stressful or just chaotic event where everything just keeps going wrong, man? Because I've been there. Yeah. Dominoes just keep falling.
I would say any party that, for me, a party's fine. Like no matter what goes wrong, if we have a lot of people there, I can manage it. We can get through it. And if you've thrown events for a while, it's gonna happen. Having an empty party, that is like
hurts.
It hurts because you know what's going on the back end, and it's like you can't even keep yourself busy. You know, like you're there. And that's when you start going crazy, and that's when that's when you put the promoter hat on, and you're like, "Yo, come invite friends right now. I'll give you a comp bottle. Like, just show up." Like,
I need people in this door.
Yeah. And that's like the scariest part. That's just what you never want to go through, but it will inevitably happen if you throw shows long enough. You know, they're not always gonna be
hitters.
Yeah,
I could see that. And now, when it comes to your upcoming show, Miami Music Week, tell us about it. Who do you have? What days? What are you most excited for?
Yeah, definitely. I think Wednesday is the day I'm most excited for.
I got tickets to that.
Yep.
That is going to be a banger.
The High Priestess herself, it's Sarah Landry. Like, very excited to have her in Miami, especially for a headline show. And, that one's pretty much sold out probably by the time
this releases.
Yeah.
Well, if you could buy a ticket, you should buy a ticket.
Yeah.
But if you can't, show up at the door, see what happens.
Yeah, we'll work something out. I'm sure we can always work something out. But yeah, so Sarah Landry, Fiac. I've been a huge fan of Fiac for so long, and like those are kind of pinch me moments.
Oh yeah. Big bookings.
Yeah. When I get put in email chains of like people I've looked up to for so long, it's like, whoa.
Surreal.
Yeah, super crazy. So I'm really excited for that day. We have Mala and Chami on Thursday.
All right.
Which will be super cool. We got
bringing back No Redemption.
Yep, bringing back No Redemption. We got A-Craze, West End, DJ Susan on the lineup.
Nice.
Very, very special guest.
All right.
Very, very special. Very special guest.
Special.
Yeah. Really excited for that one. Friday is Deadmau5. You know, we did Deadmau5 last year. For me, Deadmau5 is just a really cool booking because it's like...
He's a legend.
Yeah.
Truly.
I remember being 11 years old listening to Strobe. Being like,
Same.
What is this?
I don't know what's in my ears,
yeah,
but I love it.
Yeah. No, and it's cool to have that guy play for us. And the fact that he's coming back too. That means a lot. Because he cares about his craft. He really does care about experiences and, you know, giving the people what they want. And so I'm really glad he's coming back. Then Saturday we got Deep Root, which will be it's just Afro house. Like, it's going to be good energy
Vibes.
That day. Yeah. And then Sunday is kind of like a crazy one. Rico Nasty and Boys Noise, which is like a duo you never thought you'd hear. But yeah, they have a new song coming out. So they're going to use it as like their unofficial release party.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah. Chris Lorenzo's on the lineup. Like, awesome UK DJ. Innovate, who are actually Miami locals.
Nice.
Super experimental sound. Those guys are, shout out Innovate. They are really cool and do a lot for the scene here in Miami.
Now, with Miami Music Week, do you ever fear that you're going up against a lot of competition? Because you're really going up against multi-million-dollar production companies. Yeah. So how do you like work with that and understand that field?
I know, and that's the thing. Everybody does like to get into that, and like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I go to Factory Town when my party's over, like it's honestly a healthy competition. It is hard because obviously the scale of their teams, and like massive. And they've been doing it for so long, and they didn't build it overnight. It's a well-oiled machine at this point with a lot of them.
Years.
Yeah, and I think we are blessed in Miami to have a lot of nightlife, and we have a lot of clientele. So I think there is enough for everybody to eat, if the shows are good enough. And I just see it as, it doesn't put me off as much, but I get excited when we're, in the same articles as Space and like being mentioned alongside some huge companies. It's like, okay, this is cool. Like, I have a lot of respect for anybody that actually is in this space.
Definitely.
Because it's like war out there, and I do have respect for, everybody from DJs to event producers to promoters. Like promoters do things I can't do, like I'm not good at, hosting VIP clients. Like, that's not my thing. Some people are really, really good at that. And, I would say it just doesn't put me off. It gives me more drive.
Love that.
Yeah, to get up to their level.
Yeah, it's all the war for attention, but ultimately it's what makes people better. Yeah. They become a better competitor. Yeah. That's the game. Yeah. So, where can people buy tickets if they're looking to purchase one of these insanely good events here at Miami Music Week? Where can they buy a ticket?
I would say easiest option is go to the Third Eye Hospitality Instagram. All of our ticket links are on the link tree.
Love that. Okay.
It's in our bio. I would, because some are on Dice, some are on Posh, so I don't want to confuse people. The link tree is the easiest. Everything's laid out there.
So your Instagram handle is at Third Eye Hospitality?
At Third Eye Hospitality Co.
At Third Eye Hospitality Co.
Yeah.
All right. You heard it here first. Go to at Third Eye Hospitality Co. and cop one of those tickets. You guys, these are you do not want to miss these shows. They're going to probably be one of the most memorable moments of your Miami Music Week, period.
We're gonna make it happen, dude. We're gonna make it happen.
So I just want to know, to wrap it all up here, what is going to be next for you?
So we're kind of riding this momentum. We're going to be talking about Formula One shortly after this. Doing something for Formula One. We're going to dive right into planning Art Basel after this.
Nice.
Because that's the thing. A lot of these things require 8 months out, even longer, a full year out for some events. So we'll be doing that. We do have a party April 12th at Domicile.
Oh, are you booking?
So right now, we're still in talks for a couple people.
Okay.
More importantly, it's a brand called Teletech.
Okay.
From Manchester, and that hits home for me because I'm originally from the UK. Moved here when I was 11, halfway through 7th grade. And Teletech's like a huge techno brand out of Manchester, England, for anybody that didn't know. And we're actually their official Miami partners.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're doing the Teletech party over at Domicile, April 12th.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And for anyone who doesn't know, Domicile is one of the I would say one of the most premier techno clubs in Miami. The bookings are unreal. So cool. And it's actually real, true techno. I'm talking, you get the cores from Berlin, you get the people from all over, right? Like you said, even England. You get the techno from England. You get all of these insane artists all coming to this random spot in Little Haiti.
I love it. I love it, dude.
That feels like a dungeon and has an amazing back area. I love how they have scaffoldings on the dance floor. It just makes it real industrial.
Yeah, and and that's what I love, dude. I love that Miami, we do have different options like that, you know. And I would just say to any DJ, anybody that loves music, just get out the comfort zone. Go listen to something you never thought you'd listen to, you know. Because you could be surprised, especially like in that realm of music. And like I love the ground. The ground's
nice.
It's cool because they cater to different acts.
Definitely, you know? They get even the weird.
Yeah,
there, you know?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like sometimes going up to the terrace, I'll walk through the ground and be like, okay, this music's better than what they're playing on the terrace. I'm just gonna sit
I've been
down
there.
Here. Yeah. Yeah, no, and it's cool. I like that we cater to such a wide variety of music here.
Love that. Yeah. Love that. So to wrap everything up fully, is there anything you would like to tell to the audience as like a last bit?
I'd say just if you're on the fence about something, like if you want to get into the space, just do it. Just, send it. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for help around you. People are actually, like everybody says, be careful. No, people are here to help you. Like be open, have a vision, have a dream, sell it, make it happen.
Love that. Okay. And for anyone that wants to find you, what is the best way they can follow you?
So my ad, just Jake Mercer.
Just Jake Mercer.
Yes, sir.
All right. So at Just Jake Mercer, be sure to give him a follow along with his event company at Third Eye Hospitality Co. Third Eye Hospitality Co.
Yep.
And I'll be sure to link those into the description and also on any type of clips we got.
Yep. And come Sunday Music Week, I'll be DJing with Chris Lorenzo and stuff. So
hell yeah.
You want to see me spin Sunday Toe Jam.
Come out. Show support. Check that out. You won't want to miss it. Well, thank you so much, Jake, for coming here, man. This was a great conversation. And, of course, if you guys want to give us a follow, it's at The Electronic Age, at The Electronic Age. You'll be able to find us on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. And thank you so much for listening. Until the next one. Peace out.